بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأصلي وأسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى أهله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. The statement of the people of knowledge regarding the Soofeyah, translated and compiled by Abbas Abu Yahya. Shamsuddin Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyya died 751. Rahimahullah said, I heard Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah died 728. Rahimahullah narrate from some of the righteous people that they said, the people worship Allah, and as for Soofeyah, then they worship their own selves. Taken from Salat ibn al-Qayyim, the Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. Page 269 and Madarij al-Salikin 1 to 260. 1 to 60. 1 stroke 260. Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyya died 751. Rahimahullah said, and how good is what Abu Ahmad Ash-Shirazi said. The Soofiyah used to ridicule shaitan, and now the shaitan ridicules them. Taken from Ighatul Al-Lafan fi Masa'id al-Shaitan with the checking by Sheikh Albani, volume 1, page 241. The deception of the shaitan of the Soofiyah. Sheikh Muhammad bin Hamid al-Faqih rahimahullah comment on the statement of Imam Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah when he spoke about the deception of the shaitan on the Soofiyah. When Imam Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah said the shaitan caused them to buzz around, dance, and to strike the ground, whizzing around on their feet. Then sometimes he makes them like donkeys going round a pivot, and sometimes like insects dancing in the middle of the house. Sheikh Muhammad Hamid al-Faqih said, the Sheikh Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah intends the Mutasawwifa, Soofiyah, who form into circles, then stand up in those circles and dance and swing from side to side to the tune of singing and musical instrument. They shout, scream, and dance together with what they call dhikr, remembrance of Allah. Rather, it is sinfulness, disobedience, and the remembrance of shaitan. May Allah guide them and free Islam from these evils and crimes. Taken from Igadatul Lafan fi Masa'id al-Shaitan with a checking by Sheikh Albani, volume 1, page 409. How the shaitan deceived the people that whistling and clapping. How the shaitan deceived the people that whistling and clapping is prayer. Shamsuddin Muhammad bin Abi Bakr ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyya died 751. Rahimahullah speaks about the ayah. Their prayer at the house of Allah was nothing but whistling and clapping of hands. And Fal 35. And how the shaitan deceived the people that whistling and clapping is prayer. Ibn al-Qayyim quotes Ibn Arafa and Ibn al-Hanbali, who said that whistling and clapping is not prayer. Sheikh Muhammad Hamid al-Faqih commented on this by saying, in reality, this is not prayer. Allah called it prayer because they used to whistle and clap in their thundering movement to the tunes of whistling and clapping, since they intended by it as a means of coming close to Allah. So Allah reprimanded them and criticized them, and Allah clarified that He does not love that. He does not reward them for it except with a painful punishment, and that whistling and clapping of the polytheists is like what takes place in the gathering of the Soofiyah of our time, like dancing movement to the tune of whistling and clapping. Their deep-rooted desires beautified this. Likewise, the ignorance and the shaitan from the men and jinn beautified this to make them think that it is dhikr, remembrance of Allah, and worship. Allah is far from this. Taken from Ighatul Lafan fi Masa'id al-Shaitan with the checking by Sheikh Albani, volume 1, page 440. The Soofiyah's dislike of knowledge. Imam Shamsuddin Muhammad bin Ahmad bin Uthman al-Dhahabi died 748. Rahimahullah quoted Ibn Bakwaya said, one day Abu Abdullah bin Khafif saw Ibn Maktoum and his group, and they were writing something. So he said, notice this. They said, we are writing such and such. He said, busy yourself by learning something and not be deceived by the speech of the Soofeyah. I used to hide my pen in the pocket of my rags and the paper in the pocket of my garment, and I will go in hiding to the people of knowledge. Hiding to the people of knowledge. If they, the Soofeyah, found out that I was there, they will dispute with me and say, you will not be successful. But then eventually they were in need of me this knowledge. Imam Al-Dahawi rahimahullah said, this sheikh had combined between knowledge and action and getting chains of narrations, a hadith, from their source, and will adhere to the sunnah with a long, enjoyable life in obedience to Allah, taken from Sirah Alam Nubala 16/346 and hash and a small straight line 347. Imam Shamsuddin Muhammad bin Ahmad bin Uthman al-Dahabi died 748. Rahimahullah quoted Ghazali saying, Ghazali said, the Sufi have taken to inspirational knowledge and not proper learned knowledge. So one of them sit with his heart being empty. With total concern he says, Allah, 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 when so that his heart becomes empty. The Sufi do not busy themselves with the recitation of Quran, nor with the books of Hadith. So if the Sufi reaches this limit, then he stays in his house alone in the darkness and in a garment wrapped up. Then at that time he hears the call of triumph. O you Prophet enveloped in garment, Surah O you wrapped in the garment, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Surah Al-Muzammil. If you remember Allah by saying in this place Imam Ghazali said the Soofeyah have taken to spiritual knowledge and not proper learned knowledge. So one of them is sit with their heart being empty without all concern. He says Allah, 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 so that his heart becomes empty. Your heart cannot become empty if you remember Allah, you say Allah, Allah. So the Sufi do not busy themselves with the recitation of Quran, that is true, nor with the books of Hadith. So if the Sufi reaches, and I will accept that they don't the Sufi do not busy with the recitation of Quran, nor with the books of Hadith, and you accept that. But if the Sufi reaches the limit, then he stays in his house alone in the darkness and a garment wrapped up. Then at that time he hears the call of triumph. From here I don't accept it because I don't understand here. Also this place the Soofeyah have taken to inspiration knowledge. I don't understand this meaning, but and not proper learned knowledge. This one I accept that one. Imam Al-Dahabi died 748 commented, the leader of creation indeed had, O you Prophet, enveloped in garment, Surah Al-Mudaththir, from Jibril from Allah. As for this idiot, then he never heard the call of truth, rather he heard the shaitan, or he heard it from fickle brain and did not hear in reality. And success is adhering to the Sunnah and Al-Jama'ah consensus taken from Sirah Al-Alam and Nubala. A rich, thankful person and a needy, patient person who is better. Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah died 751 rahimullah after discussing the issue of the difference amongst the people about a rich, thankful person and a needy person who is better. He mentions the definition of al-faqr. Poverty, needy, according to many of the people, had become such that they regarded al-faqir to be zuhud, worship and manners. They labeled the one described with zuhud, worship and manners as faqir, needy person, even though he possessed wealth. And they said about the one who is not described with zuhud, worship and manners is not a faqir, a needy person, even if he does not possess wealth. And perhaps it is possible that this meaning can be called tasawwuf. And from the people there are those who differentiate between the title al-faqir, needy person, and as-sufi. Then there are from these people who regard the term al-faqir better, and from them are those who hold the view that the title as-sufi is better. Research in this issue shows that the research into this issue shows that one should not look at innovated words, but one should look at what the book and the Sunnah brought from words and meanings. And Allah gave the description of His awliya, which is that of al-iman and al-taqwa. So whoever has greater portion is better, and the rich people are equivalent to the in regard to this. Allah knows best, taken from Udatu Sabirin, page 293. This place, and they said about the one who is not described with Zuhud. Worship al-mana is not a fakir, needy person, even if he does not possess wealth. And perhaps it is possible that this meaning can be called tasawwuf. This is not tasawwuf. Tasawwuf is these people who have left these people who have left this world, and they have devoted themselves to worship Allah alone. They don't have any connection with this world. They just want akhirah, and they worship Allah alone. These are tasawwuf in the first time, not this time. Some of these people who are called Soofeyah, who are upon tasawwuf, most of them right now, they are worshippers of graves, and most of them are fusaq, and all of them are bidah. Research into this issue shows that one should not look at innovated words. I don't understand this part. Ibn al-Qayyim's refutation against the Soofeyah in the rejection of knowledge. Shamsuddin Muhammad bin Abi Bakr Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyya died 751. Rahimahullah said, as for what is narrated about some of them, that is the Soofeyah, in that they regard knowledge as insignificant, and them being in need of knowledge, then that is like the one Sufi who said, we take our knowledge directly from the living one who does not die. As for you, then you take it from one who lives and then dies. That is narrators of hadith. Another one said, when he was asked, why don't you travel so that you can hear hadith from Abdul Razak? He answered, what can I do with the narrating from Abdul Razak when someone hears directly from the Creator? If the Sufi says we take our knowledge directly from the living one, if Allah is giving them the knowledge and directly, there's no problem. Allah is capable of doing that. But for them saying, as for you, you take it from the one who dies, who lives and then dies, ridiculing them or rejecting this, then that is wrong. Because they should also accept those who take it from the narrators. But if Allah has favored them and gives them knowledge directly, I believe that Allah can give them knowledge directly with wahi, or they can be taken by the sama. They given. Allah is capable of everything. Also, this place, another one said when he was asked, why don't you travel so that you can hear hadith from Abdul Razak? He answered, what can I do with the narrating from Abdul Razak when someone hears narrated from the Creator? Yes, he can speak to Allah. Must also speak to Allah. Allah is capable of doing that. There's no problem in them saying that. Another one Sufi said, knowledge is a veil between the heart and between Allah Azza wa Jal, prevent you from reaching Allah. Another said, if you see a Sufi busying himself with the akhbarana, he informed us, and haddathana, he narrated to us, these terms are used in narrating hadith, then wash your hands from him, that is, keep away from him. Another one said, we have knowledge from numerical codes, and you have knowledge from papers. Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawzi died 751. Rahimahullah comments on their statement by saying, the best of the condition of those who say these statements and other similar statements is that he is an ignoramus who can be excused for ignorance, or a negligent person who acknowledges his negligence. Or otherwise, if it was not for Abdul Razak and the likes of him, scholars of hadith, and it was not for akhbarana, informed us, and the hadathana, in other words, then nothing of Islam will have reached this person and those similar to him. And whoever directs you to other than akhbarana, informed us, and hadathana, narrated to us, then he has directed you to either Sufi fiction or philosophical ideology, or to his own personal opinion. There is nothing after the Quran or Akhbarana, he informed us, and Haddathana, he narrated to us, except the depth of the people of theological rhetoric and opinions of a deviant people, and the imagination of the Soofeyah, and analogies of the philosophers. Whoever separates himself from the evidence, then he becomes misguided away from the correct path. There is no evidence. There is no evidence to lead to Allah and paradise except the book and the Sunnah. Every path which is not accompanied with the Quran and Sunnah is from the path of hell, and the shaitan Nirajim accuse shaitan. Madarij volume 2 page 438 to 439. Imam Muhammad ibn Idris Shafi rahimahullah died 204 after Hijriya, said in a poem, Every knowledge other than the Quran is a distraction, except the Hadith and the knowledge of fiqh of deen. Knowledge is that which has, he said, narrated to us. Everything other than that is whispering of shayateen. Diwan Shafi, page 124, Bidaya wa Nihaya, 10/254. The Soofeyah relieved themselves of worship. Ali bin Ahmad bin Said bin Hazam died 456 after Hijriya rahimahullah, said, a group from the Soofeyah claimed that there is from amongst the awliya, friends of Allah, he who is better than all the prophets and messengers. This Soofeyah said, whoever reaches the maximum limit of al-walaya, the maximum limit of being religious, then he is relieved of all the Sharia from prayer, fasting, zakah, and other acts of worship, and that all haram things become halal for him, from zina and drinking alcohol and other things. Al-Fasal by Ibn Hazm 3/226, taken from Introduction to Ijtima al-Jayush al-Islami by Ibn al-Qayyim, page 141. Ibn Jawzi died 597 AH. Rahimahullah said, Iblis, Shaitan, deceived a group of the Soofeyah. From them were those who secluded themselves in a mountain, like monks, spending the night alone, and reach the morning alone. So they will miss the Jummah prayer and the congregational prayer, and mixing with the people of knowledge. Talbis Iblis by Ibn Jawzi, page 307, Ijtima al-Jayush al-Islami by Ibn al-Qayyim, page 142. This place and reach the morning alone, I don't understand that. Shamsuddin Muhammad bin Abi Bakr ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawzi died 751. Allah says, whoever does not hold the opinion and that establishing the obligatory act of worship is compulsory, and believes that he will achieve a state whereby he is relieved of worship, then is a disbeliever, detached from the religion. Madarij al-Salikin by Ibn al-Qayyim 3/113, Ijtima al-Juyush al-Islami by Ibn al-Qayyim, page 142. Yani here Ibn Jawzi rahimahullah said, Iblis, Shaitan deceived a group of the Soofeyah. That one we believe that they deceived it. Iblis has deceived them. From them there are those who seclude themselves in a mountain, like monks, spending the night alone. Then this is no problem if you seclude yourself in the mountain, like monks, spending the night alone. There is no problem in that. And reach the morning alone, this one I don't understand. So they will miss the Jummah prayer and the congregational prayer and mix with the people of knowledge. This is not good. Yani. This is bidah. Yani. So it goes against yani. This one goes against Quran and Sunnah. You know. And in this place, Yani Ibn Jawzi said, Iblis, Shaitan deceived a group of the Soofeyah. Naam, he has deceived them. From them there are those who seclude themselves in a mountain, like monks, spending the night alone. There's no problem in that. And reach the morning alone, I don't understand that. So they will miss the Jummah prayer. If they miss the Jummah prayer and they perform the Jummah prayer there, there's no problem. They miss Juma prayer with the people, but they can put the Juma prayer if they are more than two. That's no problem. And the congregational prayer, if they miss even the congregational prayer because they don't hear the adhan, that's no problem. But if they hear the adhan and they miss it, then their prayer is battery not to be accepted. And with the people of knowledge, but if they are doing with the people of knowledge and they don't want to mix with the other people of knowledge, there is no problem. They have freedom. I know. So this is this part, yani. Yani, if they miss the congregational prayer, well, they're in the mountains, because they don't hear the calling of the congregational prayer, there's no problem. But if there are many, they pray congregational prayer together. When they don't hear the call to prayer, there's no problem. But if they hear the call to prayer and even they are men, they should go to the mosque and pray. But if they don't hear the call to prayer and they are men, they should pray alone. And even if it's one person, he should pray alone. If he doesn't hear the call to prayer, but even if it's one hear call to pray, should go to pray. So what you are saying is that yani, if they miss the congregational prayer with the people because they don't hear the call to prayer, there's no problem. But they can pray together if there are many. If it's one, you can pray alone. There's no problem because they didn't hear the call to prayer. And there's no harm upon that person, you know.